Welcome to Deep River Farm. Nice peaceful morning. We must have had a shower overnight. Everything's wet. I know we had a fog. I seen the fog this morning, but sometime during the night we had a little rain, and we came up and turned the chickens out this morning and letting them run around and scratch and do all the things that a chicken does. We've made several videos this past day or two. We're trying to restock our supply that got wiped out, the 489 videos that disappeared. So we're trying to get our topics back on in the library that we lost, along with a few extra. And we got to keep our eyes peeled for hawks. They've been up here for about 2 years. We hadn't lost any of the hawks, but we got to be very careful. We try to stay around when we turn the chickens out, and that way we don't lose any. But this morning we're gonna broach the subject of the way they market stuff in the ag industry. Overseas, in Europe, you'll hear me say a lot of times that they ban this and they ban that due to health concerns. Well, we're going to touch on this again, and this time we're going to talk about milk and the way they market this stuff. Wikipedia and Webster's define milk as for the human consumption is something that comes from a mammary gland out of a cow or a goat or the like. I don't know what the like is supposed to mean. If there's some other animal that people may drink milk from, I don't know, but of only the two, and that's humans and goats. The problem you run into is the Dairy Association is fighting a losing battle due to, basically it comes down to money, who's getting paid off. You got your regular milk, you got your goat's milk. That's the only two real milks there are. But if you go in the grocery store, you're going to see soy milk, almond milk, oat milk, all these coconut milks. You're going to see all these milks on the shelf that have been allowed to use the word milk in the marketing application. Now, this has led people to believe that these milks, soy, oat, almond, I can't even think of all of them, coconut and all this stuff, is good for you. Well, to be honest with you, and if you'll look it up and do you some research, you'll find that these so-called milks are fake milk. Almonds does not have milk in them. Soybeans do not have milk in them. Coconut does not have milk in it. What they are doing, folks, is they're putting a dye into that to make it resemble milk. And this stuff is not milk. It's not better for you, by no means. And the Dairy Association has been fighting this for years and years, filed lawsuits and lawsuits stating that they should not be able to say this is milk, because truly it is not. It does not fit the definition of milk, but it's only there as a marketing ploy to fool people into believing that this is something that is better for you when it is not. That's why in the UK, over in Europe, you will find that these types of items that we have listed here as milk are by law not allowed to claim such a thing over there. In some aspects, I think the Europeans have more common sense than the Americans do when it comes to stuff like that. They will not let you have certain things in the foods because it's detrimental to your health, causes cancer and all this other stuff. But if you'll look at the United States, it's everything goes, because the politicians in Washington that wear the NASCAR jackets, that's what they need to tell who they've been bought off from, are doing anything they can to put some money in their pocket and allowing these things to go on. And it's hurting the dairy industry because they can't compete against these other milks. I mean, you know, you can make these half gallons of this soy and almond and all this other garbage. You know, they can't compete against that because that's not real milk. You know, they just color the water in it, put water in it, put a dye in it, crush these nuts and stuff up and get these extracts and things out of them, and then they pump them with vitamins and stuff that they inject into this stuff. So you might want to do your research on this stuff. Now, I understand some people are lactose intolerant and this, that, and the other, but a lot of people are getting this stuff, mixing it in these smoothies and all this other garbage, thinking that they're getting this nutritious thing, and it's not so. Do yourself some research on it. But I wanted to touch on that because the video we did prior to this about the milk and stuff about how they marketing stuff and it's killing the farmers, and the farmers are losing all of their land through taxation and regulations. This is another instance right here where the milk industry is not allowed to operate under the milk industry. They've got all this other junk coming out here on the side claiming milk when they're not. So do yourself some research on that soy milk, oat milk, coconut milk, and all that other stuff you people are drinking and mixing in your smoothies and coffees and all this other stuff, and you'll find out that a lot of the ingredients in this stuff is not good for you and is not as nutritious as it's made out to be. I appreciate you joining us this morning on Deep River Farm as we're out here watching the old chickens free range a little bit, keeping our eyes open for the old hawks and the owls, and hoping that they don't know they're out this morning. But these chickens, they get some good exercise, they eat bugs, and they get a lot of protein doing this way. And that's something that we try to let them do as much as possible, and that way they can expand their diet and get a little rock in their craw and all that kind of stuff. It helps digest their food and all that. Because you don't want to just feed these animals corn and stuff, makes them fat. And then the humans consume these chickens and eggs, and it makes them fat. That's why about 60% of the population in the United States is obese, because the way they have to grow these cattle and stuff out, these people that do it naturally can't compete hardly with these people that throw these cows in feedlots and they fatten them up to about 600 or 800 pounds in about 3 or 4 months and then send them to slaughter. All they're doing is eating fat materials and putting weight on the cows. They're getting sold by the pound, and then the processors are making a killing off of it. And then when you get it at the store, they've already done all this stuff to it, gassed the meat and all that other stuff. That's why you need to find yourself a local farmer that you can trust, and you know how their chickens are fed, if they're free range like this, and you'll know the quality of eggs you get. Otherwise, you're going to get all this other stuff that they've crammed all these grains and things in that is not natural for the chickens to eat that much of. Let alone beef cattle and things. Their main course is eating grass and stuff, and chickens eat bugs and things like that. So should be their main diet. Chickens back in the day used to weigh 2 or 3 pounds. Now they weigh 8 and 10 pounds. You know, so that's because all these grains and things are thrown in there and given to these chickens, and they get fat and lazy. Doesn't that sound familiar? Getting fat and lazy. I appreciate you joining us this morning. Hope you have a blessed day, and tune in. We're gonna talk on our next video about how they market the eggs. Appreciate you joining us today.